I want to welcome our viewers all across the world joining us on this exclusive CGTN live stream. And where I am located right now, I'm at the 2019 Seoul Motor Show. It's just happening in the city of Goyang here in South Korea. It's located just west of Seoul. The 2019 edition of this Seoul Motor Show, it's South Korea's largest motor show, and it's the only one recognized by the International Association of Imported Motor Vehicles here. So it is the country's largest show. So I want to thank all our viewers for tuning in. Join me for the next couple of minutes as I introduce this exclusive sneak peek of what's happening here at the 2019 Seoul Motor Show. Today is Media Day here, so invited journalists and registered reporters are allowed to come in and get a sneak peek before the general public is allowed to see what is being unveiled here. So just to give you a little bit of background about the 2019 Seoul Motor Show, this is a biennial event which has been happening since 1995. Like I mentioned, it's South Korea's largest motor show, and this year we have about 21 auto manufacturers, as well as hundreds more related companies exhibiting here as well. We have several world premieres, we have Asia premieres, as well as domestic premieres here as well. But of course, I'll explain more about what's happening here as I give you a little bit of a tour here. So obviously South Korea is a major automobile manufacturing country. There are about a handful of major global companies, of course, household names like Hyundai, Kia, GM, Daewoo, as well as Sangyong are all well known out there. So of course a lot of the highlights here and a lot of the focus is on Korean branded vehicles. So I can't take you around the entire exhibition hall. This KINTEX Exhibition Center is and the show is being displayed across 80,000 square meters. So it'll take you a good part of the day to tour every single pavilion here. But I'm going to show you just some of the highlights here. So please bear with me, and let's go on this tour right now. And as soon as you walk in here, this is the second exhibit. As soon as you walk in, what you'll be greeted with is this pavilion right here, Hyundai. And of course, Hyundai is the big highlight here. So come follow me, and I'll give you a tour. You'll see that visitors here will be greeted with a, first of all, a hologram here. And the big highlight here of the show, I got a chance to really tour this event venue early this morning, where a lot of the press conferences were being held. But the highlight here is really at this pavilion here. If you do get a chance to come to the Seoul Motor Show, come here to the Hyundai Pavilion, because what you're going to see is the all-new, brandly new unveiled flagship sedan for this company, and it is the Sonata. This really is the car that's equivalent to what made Hyundai what it is today. So show our viewers here the Sonata, and what you'll see here is this is the Sonata Turbo model, which has yet to be unveiled to the public. In fact, last week what Hyundai had done was they had a standalone pop-up event where they unveiled this brand newly designed third-generation platform Sonata to the public for the very first time. But what you're seeing here at the Seoul Motor Show is this newly unveiled model, the Sonata Turbo. This houses a 1.6 liter engine, 8-speed transmission to give you that extra bit of torque for those car enthusiasts here. So that's the front, newly designed again. The Sonata, you have the nice big chrome wheels that you see, off-colored side mirrors as well. And for those that you like to see the rear view mirror, or the rear view of the Sonata Turbo, there it is. There you have it. So that is the newly unveiled Sonata Turbo. One more premiere here at the Seoul Motor Show with the Sonata is this white vehicle here. And this white vehicle is has some pretty cool features here. This is the all-new Sonata Hybrid. Again, this is yet to be unveiled to the public, but what the plan is, it'll launch in about June. And this Sonata Hybrid, what's pretty cool is, if you look at the top of the vehicle, if you get a close look there, they have what they call a solar roof panel. These are essentially solar panels that will help fuel and recharge the battery in this car. And what the goal is, according to manufacturers, is that this will hopefully, their goal is to get about 20 kilometers per liter in fuel efficiency. I mentioned the solar roof system, and with this solar panel system, what designers say is that it will allow drivers to store up to hopefully 1,300 kilometers per year. So that's, imagine that, 1,300 kilometers in fuel savings. And see, you can see here that the solar panels are could also be charged not just by sunlight. If you park in the basement, possible LED lighting could also help charge this vehicle as well. So something to look forward to here if you come to the Seoul Motor Show. Again, if you're just joining us, we're at the 2019 Seoul Motor Show at the KINTEX Convention Center just west of Seoul, South Korea's largest auto show here. And what you're seeing is probably one of the highlights, in my opinion, from what I've seen, is this newly unveiled all-new design Sonata Hybrid as well as the Sonata Turbo here. So, I'll let you see that. If you take a wide view of this pavilion, it's a huge pavilion here for Hyundai, of course, South Korea's largest manufacturer of cars. What you can see here, you have some characters. Watch out here for that line. And there's three main pavilions here at Hyundai. You have this Sonata pavilion, but if you come here, and this is of course the Sonata model that was unveiled last week in the product launch. This is what Hyundai is calling the Nexo Garden. And of course the environment, environmental friendliness, eco-friendly cars are a big subset of this automotive industry. And what you see there is the Hyundai Nexo, and it's a hydrogen-powered fuel cell electric vehicle. And hydrogen, of course, fuel cell vehicles not as widespread yet as hybrid or all-electric vehicles as of yet, but Hyundai is investing a lot into this sort of technology. Fuel cell vehicles, as many know, have essentially zero emissions. All you get is the hydrogen, and all that emits will be water. And if you see here, they have a little exhibition here that explains kind of what goes on in this fuel cell vehicle that emits very, very low emissions, essentially zero. And they have a model of the Nexo here on display. You can see kind of the engine and performance that's happening inside here. And so if you come to the Seoul Motor Show, of course, you can get a first-hand look at all this. You can get a detailed explanation, show off to your friends that you got to see this vehicle for the very first time. So again, this is the Hyundai fuel cell vehicle, the Nexo, which is coming to market, hopefully, if company standards go. And let's go this way this time. So the third pavilion here at the Hyundai exhibit here is what we call the N Performance Pavilion. And the N Performance line is also newly unveiled here at the Seoul Motor Show. And if you follow me, come through this haunted house type exhibition area here, you can see you're entering the N Performance area. And this is a high performance segment that Hyundai is really getting into. You see these are very high performance cars. You're talking about all wheel vehicles, off-road vehicles and whatnot. And you can see all the latest in technology that they have. A number of volunteers and mechanics working the Hyundai Pavilion. And even if you're not a car enthusiast, you can come here to the Seoul Motor Show, and there's a lot to enjoy, not just for the motorheads out there, but also for the entire family. If you look here, you get to experience this virtual reality, essentially arcade games here for viewers, and you can see they can get a virtual experience in terms of the latest Hyundai models here at the Seoul Motor Show. So again, the reason I'm showing our viewers this Hyundai Pavilion, it is the largest pavilion here at the Seoul Motor Show. It, South Korea, of course, South Korea's largest manufacturer. But I want to show you other exhibits that are going on, and let's go right next door here. And what you'll see is, the sister company of Hyundai, the Offset, the luxury brand of Hyundai, which is the Genesis line. The Genesis launching its independent line here last year, and what you'll see here is this nice shiny chrome vehicle. It's the Genesis G90L. It's the long form model of this vehicle for the CEO and the executives that would like to ride in luxury. The Genesis G90 here being unveiled at the Seoul Motor Show as well. And then if you look down the line, you have their entire new fleet of vehicles here, including the G80. You can continue on here. You have the rest of their fleet here as well. Genesis actually getting rave reviews last year, being selected as a North American car or sedan of the year. Not this car that you're looking at, but actually it's the G70 that you will see here at the end. It's the much sportier coupe sedan, as they call it. Again, the Genesis Premium line, something you could see here when you're visiting the Seoul Motor Show. And of course, since this is being held at such a large venue here at the KINTEX Convention Center, 80,000 square meters in total. If you're having some fatigue and you need some rest, you have these little facilities here where you can enjoy a nice massage. One more pavilion I want to show you, so come follow me. And right next door here, what you'll see is the Mini and its sister company, BMW here. So take a look at all these nice new vehicles. I do want to put a disclaimer out there that I'm not being endorsed by any of these companies. I just want to give our viewers a sneak peek, a quick glance at what they can expect at the Seoul Motor Show here. And as you get a look, I do want to raise some issues that recently give our viewers a look at the fleet here at the BMW Pavilion. But motor shows in general have been on the decline ever since the turn of the century, you could say. Probably not just here at Seoul, but other motor shows across the world, including Geneva, Frankfurt, of course the Detroit Auto Show, all world-class shows, but they have been experiencing, there's been a decline in attendance, and there are several reasons that you could point to why that is happening. A lot of car manufacturers are now opting to use other methods of promotion to promote their new lines, and that includes stand-up, pop-up events where journalists and the public can actually get more attention than being at a large motor show like this. But it also says a lot about the changing landscape of the automotive industry, namely that these cars are becoming much more high-tech, more connected, and more mobile. And what you see is more companies opting to use other venues, namely the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, as well as the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. These are other venues that car manufacturers are using to really display their items. And so what we're seeing is a sort of a decline in these motor shows. But one executive, in fact, I spoke to the organizer for the Seoul Motor Show earlier this morning, and what he had told me was that more needs to be done to adapt to the changing environment, and that means not just showcasing more cars or more vehicles, world premieres and whatnot, but actually inviting more tech companies as well as parts companies, because these cars are becoming so high-tech and connected. In fact, for the first time, an IT company, a telecommunications company, SK, which is South Korea's largest telecommunications mobile data provider here, is exhibiting at the Seoul Motor Show as well. Goes to show that with 5G technology along the way, we can see things like Internet of Things being connected to our personal vehicles in the future. And it really is not a long ways away, it seems. Other things you can see here, autonomous vehicles, drones, robots are all going to be on display here. So that's pretty much the gist of what you can expect here at the Seoul Motor Show. If I give some information on what's happening here, this show officially begins tomorrow, March 29th, or 29th, that's right, and runs through April 7th. It's open every day from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the KINTEX Convention Center in the city of Goyang, just west of Seoul, under the theme it's being held this year of sustainable connected mobility. 227 companies in total are going to be here, 21 auto brands, including 6 South Korean brands and 15 imported brands, as well as electric car companies, autonomous driving, IT, energy, and parts. And this is, of course, the largest auto show in South Korea, the only one endorsed by the International Organization of motor vehicle manufacturers. So if you are in town here in South Korea and you do get a chance and you have some free time, come out to the Seoul Motor Show here, 2019. It'll run again to April 7th. For those who can't come here, stay tuned to CGTN for more information on this. You can watch this live stream again on the various platforms out there. So in the meantime, I'll be signing off. Thank you for joining me. This has been Shane Hahm for CGTN from the city of Goyang in South Korea at the KINTEX International Convention Center.